Joined by Phil Neville. Coach, you want to get us started with opening remarks?
Afternoon, everyone. Well, obviously, we spoke literally 48 hours ago, so nothing much has changed in terms of the feeling that we had after the game, the feeling that we've had in the last three games, where we feel as if we're turning a little bit of a corner, taking baby steps forward, and we want to continue that on Sunday against Nashville. Nashville are an outstanding team with a brilliant coach, and we know it's going to be really tough. But it's another home game where we can start building momentum, hopefully. In terms of the squad, we had a few tired legs after the game the other night, a few knocks and bruises. Gonzalo and Robbie came off and they didn't train today, so we're going to have to look at them in the next 24 hours. But hopefully we've got a fully fit squad going into the game on Sunday. Ryan Shawcross back trained today, looks good. Ventura is probably the only one that's a major doubt in terms of won't be definitely fit. And then it's a case of picking a team that can compete, that can continue with the confidence, and obviously we've got to have some freshness in there as well. So we've got some big decisions to make in the next 24 hours on the team selection. But I'm really proud, I'm really pleased with how the players are applying themselves, adapting themselves, and the focus is there. And so we're looking forward to the game on Sunday, a slightly earlier kickoff. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Phil. If you have a question on the call, please raise your hand. Franco, go ahead.
Thank you, Rafa. Hey, Phil. With this being the third game in 7, 8, 9 days, how much change should we expect to the lineup? Obviously, I know you said maybe last week you were going to manage the loads and obviously the minutes with the workload that's coming or that's been going on through this week. So how much do you expect to change the lineup that's kind of been working for you? How much personnel change do you think will be there on the weekend? Thank you, Phil.
Well, we've got LGP back from suspension, so he'll obviously come back into the team. Yeah, I think that's what we've been doing today. We've been looking at the freshness. We took Robbie and Gonzalo off the other night, 62 minutes I think it was. So they've had their rest on Wednesday, but they've both got knocks. So freshness will be a key because Nashville did rest a lot of players, but obviously I think they've had 3 away trips. This is their third away trip in the week. So what I would say is there's great determination from every single player to play in every single game. I think when you start to get a little bit more belief and confidence, players don't want to be rested or left out. So I think I've got a team that's hungry and every one of them wants to play. So that's pleasing, but I've just got to make sure we freshen up in the right positions, or we go with the same again. I rest Federico last week, having played really well in the previous 2 games. Rodolfo came on the other night and I thought he was outstanding. So the competition for places now is really good, and we've got good options in terms of systems and in terms of personnel. So tomorrow we'll start thinking about who the freshest players are and who's ready to win the game for us.
Next question, Steve.
Thanks, Rafa. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Steve,
just with my English hat on, obviously 2 English managers going up against each other in MLS is pretty weird. And historically, I guess English managers haven't always travelled well abroad, have they? What challenges have you encountered having just being a foreign coach coming into a different soccer environment like America? And just off the back of that as well, I don't know if you saw the pictures of David and Jorge Mas with the fans after the game or before the game the other day. Just talk a little bit about David's reaction. He's obviously been back since he's come back. I think you haven't lost a game yet. So
Yeah, well, I think the challenge is, I think the biggest challenges to work abroad as a coach are probably aligned with yourself, Steve. You're living abroad. It come with big challenges on and off the field. He's getting settled. He's finding a house and getting used to the different systems of how people live, the culture, the food, the timings, the way that you have to adapt your life has a big effect on how you have to adapt your working life as well. And then you've got to adapt to a league league that works probably slightly different with different types of financial constraints and recruitment restraints, and then you've got the travelling and the climates and the different time zones. So it's been a big adaptation period. For me personally, but I found the adaptation from going from England to Spain far more difficult because of the language barrier. At least when I came to America, the language, the culture's similar, the people have similar characters and beliefs. So in that respect, and I suppose from a professional point of view, the biggest thing is that you are a foreigner in the league. And you go back to when I worked in England, and you think to yourself that you do, as an English coach working in England, you do want your own to do well, and that's quite normal. You want your own to do well, you want your own to be successful, and you want to create opportunities for your own people first. And obviously, you've got the adaptation of foreign coaches coming in. So there's that period where you've got to earn respect. You've that period where you've got to commit fully to the journey, and I think that's the period that I'm going through now. Obviously, the Nashville manager's been here a long time, and he's got a brilliant track record. I had a good half an hour with him before the game in Nashville, and you can see why he's been successful. His teams have a brilliant identity, an identity that matches his beliefs. So, hard-working team. They work for each other. They've got a great spirit. They never ever give up in games. They're behind, you count the games that they've been behind in this season and come back and got draws or victories, shows a quality that most great teams have. So I'd say that the adaptation for moving abroad is equally as tough in terms of your professional and your personal life. You've got to adapt everything.
Next question, Lauren.
Thanks, Rafa. Hi, Phil.
Hi.
The club is in the middle of a 3-match streak against top teams in the league, really tough opponents. How is the mood, the togetherness of the team currently ahead of another important challenge this weekend?
Well, I think we've enjoyed the pressure of playing against the top teams. I think it's where we want to test ourselves, and I think it's brought the best out of the players as well. And Sunday's no different, and the week after against NYC is no different. We're playing some of the top teams in the league that are in playoff positions and playing great football and winning games. So that's the challenge ahead of us now, that we're playing every game that we play is against one of the top teams. But we've got a stretch of games now where we can make real inroads into where we want to be and where we want to finish. And what we've said is we're going to take each game as it comes. Don't get too carried away. Don't look too far ahead. Football has a habit of kicking you in the teeth when you think that you are back to where you want to be. We're nowhere near where we want to be at this moment in time. We're just making baby steps, and we're improving slowly, and we're beginning to show the qualities that I want from the team. And that's been the most pleasing thing, but we've got many tough battles ahead of us.
Next question, Chris.
Thank you, Rafa. Cheers, Phil, for doing this. I joined a bit late. First off, the window closed yesterday. Are there any more incomings or outgoings with the squad? And secondarily, just wanted to follow up on Rodolfo and his performance the other night. Thought he really came on and made an impact. What did you see from him that was a sign of things in a positive direction?
In terms of your first question, there's no incomings or outgoings, which is great. The squad that we've got now is a squad that we wanted to finish yesterday with. We're happy. We've got good strength in depth. We've got players, mostly 2 for every position, and we think we've got enough quality to attack the rest of the season. So that's pleasing. The players can relax. Everyone can relax now and just attack the rest of the season. In terms of Rodolfo, he came on and just took off from where he was before he left. I thought he was in great shape before he left. He then went away with Mexico and played really well for Mexico in the games that he came on, made real impact, and has come back with full of confidence. And he's right in my plans for a starting position on Sunday.
Next question, Tim.
Hi, Phil. You okay?
Tim, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. Just a quick one. Lionel Messi, the MLS has been talked about as a possible destination for him. What would a player like that mean for the MLS, and any plans to speak to David Beckham to see if it's a possibility in the future of bringing him to Inter Miami?
Well, I think when you're talking about Messi, you're talking about one of the greatest footballers of all time. So your first question, what would he bring to the MLS? I think he would bring a level of quality that this league's never had in terms of the greatest footballer. The amount of trophies he's won, the amount of goals he's won, the amount of goals he's scored, means that he is without doubt someone that would take this league onto an absolute another level in terms of global exposure and visibility throughout the world because of his reach and because of his quality. In terms of our roster and in terms of the way it works out here, we've got 3 outstanding DPs. We are going to get linked with some of the best footballers in the world because of the ownership that we've got, and they've already stated that they are massively ambitious to bring the best DPs in the world to this football club. But ultimately, we've got 3 DPs now that we firmly believe are the right DPs for our football club, and that we want them to be successful with us. And so at this moment in time, yes, obviously Messi is being linked with every club in world football, but ultimately we're happy with what we've got. But in the future, I can assure you that this football club will continue to bring the best footballers to this football club to help us be successful.
Bill, go ahead. Miami Herald.
You're on mute, Bill, I think.
Bill, can you hear us? All right, we'll go
Hang
back.
on. You got
there
me?
we go.
Yeah, we've got you, Bill.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I'm having technical issues here. Coach, you're playing a team in Nashville on Sunday that came into the league with you as a co-expansion team and has clearly, obviously, had a great deal more success on the field than Inter Miami. How important, you're trending in the right direction, you've been playing well the last few games. How important is that to try and get another win on Sunday against the team that came in with us, the fellow expansion team? Is there added incentive to come out and play well and get another win against this particular team?
I don't think there's any incentive in terms of sort of like beating Nashville because they came in at the same time as us. I think if any team who was playing this Sunday at home at 6 o'clock in our home stadium would be important for us to win. I think you was right in terms of sort of like we're building a little bit of momentum, but we've still got a long way to go. We need to keep this run going. We need to keep building confidence and belief. We need to keep winning games of football because the league table doesn't lie at this moment in time. It's nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near acceptable where we are, and for us to change that, we need to win football games. So in terms of the question, it doesn't matter who we're playing. Nashville have a fantastic model. They've come into the league at the same time as us and they've done really well. They brought in a certain type of player. They've got a good fan base. They've got an outstanding manager who I think's done a fantastic job. But we're slightly different. We're not Nashville. They're not Inter Miami. We have a slightly different model. The expectation on Inter Miami is probably slightly greater than the expectation on Nashville. But that comes with being part of this football club. So something that we enjoy. But ultimately on Sunday, whoever we play on Sunday, we just want to win the game.
Now we'll take the last 2 questions. First Steve, then Franco.
Oh, sorry, Phil. Yeah, just that. What I was saying about David, those pictures of him with the fans before the game. I mean, can you just, they were just quite funny to see. And you talked about the backing you've had from him. What's his big reaction been since he's been back in the country for his last 3 or 4 games, whatever?
Well, I would say that his impact and support and his presence has been really, really helpful. It's helped in terms of sort of like him being around the training ground, people seeing him in around the place, supporting everyone. I think it's had a massive impact on everyone. I think when you are an owner, and particularly when you're David Beckham, I think it's really important to have. He has got that impact. He has got that touch when he comes in, of people upping their game, making sure that he's committed to the cause. And I think the results have been. It's no surprise that results have improved since he's come back in. and that is because of his presence, because of his support, and he has been a massive support from day one. I think in terms of what Jorge and David did the other day in terms of going into the supporters, I think that shows how vital that they are to us. They've had some rough times, our supporters. They've had some tough moments, but they've never buckled once in terms of their unbelievable support for us. They went to Orlando the other night. We heard them throughout the game, before the game, during half-time, because they were directly above us. And I think it was their way of sharing their thank you to the supporters, and what we are going to do before and after every game now, we've got to make sure we walk over to them and give them our thanks as well. It's got to be part of what we do, because we have a special group of supporters that are massively passionate, and you don't really truly appreciate it until you do suffer bad times. When you suffer bad times, you do find out who's on your side and who's against you. What I found in the 8 months that I've been here, when the chips are down and when the results aren't going well for us, we've got an ownership and we've got a supporters group that are 100% behind everything to do with this football club. And I think that was a nice moment and you don't see many owners do that, where you go to a fan park just outside the stadium, have a drink, have a beer with them, support them, have a few selfies, and they are part of our family. And I think that was important for the ownership and for the players to share them moments with each other.
Last question, Franco.
Thank you, Rafa. Phil, just two quick ones. I know you touched on Nashville a little bit ago. Inter Miami's played them 3 times in the short history the two franchises have been around. Inter Miami has not scored on Nashville yet. What will be the key to breaking down and scoring at last on the Nashville team that we know is very defensively solid and tough to break down? And the second one, just on Kieran Gibbs. I wanted to ask you about him on Wednesday. Didn't get the opportunity to, but he scored the goal. Also was a constant outlet for you guys when you guys were building up. How have you seen him grow through these initial first few games that he's been with the team? Thanks, Phil.
Well, Kieran's brought a brilliant experience and quality down that left-hand side. He's come in off the back of 7 months without kicking a ball. So he's not yet played 90 minutes, and it's someone that we're going to have to look really closely with for Sunday, because he's played 3-4 games in a short space of time and he's not yet 100% fit. So think about the quality it will have when he becomes 100% fit and accustomed to the Florida heat. That's a massive thing that he's found really difficult. But he's settled in fantastically well, and I'm really pleased with him. And his goal came at a really good time for us. In terms of beating Nashville, you're right, they are defensively outstanding team, really dogged and determined, and they're a team that defend and start the game with a clean sheet and are immensely proud to come off at the end with not conceding any goals. So our attacking play is getting better, it's improving, but we need to make sure that we create more chances. And on Sunday is an opportunity for us to try and break down one of the best defensive units in the whole of the MLS. And that is our challenge. They're a team that defend well and counter-attack well and have really good options on set plays and from crossing situations. So we're going to have to attack really well. We are starting to cause teams problems with our offensive style and philosophy, and that needs to be no different on Sunday.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you, everyone. We'll be joined by Victor Ulloa very soon.